Joining me today, a dear friend. God, I love this woman. I don't know how long we've known each other. I'll have to ask her. I adore her. Sometimes I even feel like crying when I think about it. She's one of the strongest, most courageous women I know. She's an angel mom. Her son Dominic was killed by an illegal immigrant who had been arrested and convicted multiple times without deportation. And now she's an advocate for victims of crimes caused by illegal immigrants, and she continues to fight every single day to prevent further tragedies. Please welcome to the show my friend Sabine Durden. Hey, Sabine, how are you, honey?
Hi, Rose. It's so good to be on with you. You made my whole month.
Oh, I love you, and you know that. We have. How long have we known each other? I don't even know.
It seems like a lifetime because when we met, we clicked. It was just instant and true and real, and I appreciate that about you. And you don't just walk the walk. You don't just talk the talk. You walk the walk.
Oh, honey, same with you. I mean, I was talking about you earlier, and I said, this woman could have said, okay, I had a loss and good luck to the rest of you, but you didn't do that out of your pain. You've been so courageous.
I owe my son that. My love for him is so strong that keeps me going. I have a husband that supports me, and I have friends like you. I can't quit. I will not quit, and that song you played, I'm going to take that as my song.
That could be your song. That's right. You are not waving a white flag. In fact, I thought of you when the song was playing. There's no white flag here, baby. And listen, if not now, then when, Sabina? This is the time for all of us to rise up.
Yeah. Well, we're being sold out. And I heard, I was in Laredo this weekend at the border, at the river, and I heard that Biden is the best president ever. And it was cartels, drug smugglers, sex traffickers, human smugglers, and they all love Biden because he's making them millions.
Oh, yeah. Oh, listen, that's a great point.
And they so appreciate him. He's probably going to get a medal from them. And plus, all this fresh meat for the pedophiles, all these children that they claim, escaping violence. Really? If there's violence around me, my child with me is
That's
in the
right.
place.
That's exactly right.
Send your child over here, and then it's transported and paid for, and they get school in San Diego with teachers that wouldn't teach our own kids. Hey, and it's pedophile heaven. They can go at one of those centers and say, I want 2 of these, 1 of those, because nobody's checking.
No.
It's insanity.
It's an outrage. It really is. For the sake of the audience, would you mind just telling us about Dominic and what? And I feel like I know him after all these years with you. And do you remember the one time I was meeting you for an event in D.C. and I was so upset because I had told you I couldn't find my bracelet, my Dominic bracelet, and then out of the clear blue one day before I came down to D.C., it just like falls out of something. I don't even know what. It was just like it fell to the ground almost from nowhere. And we both thought it was Dominic that found it for me and dropped it in my hands.
Yep. I believe Dominic, he protects people that love his mom, that care for his mom. He shows it in many ways. And your listeners, go to domhugs.com, DOMHUGS.com. Get your bracelet. It's free. I send it for free. Just send me a message with your address and how many you want. And you, too, can be protected by my Dominic.
Oh, how sweet. Yeah. And let's talk about Dominic. I mean, he was such a good guy. He was the apple of your eye. Yes, he served his community well. Share a little bit about Dominic with our audience.
Sure will. He was my only child, my best friend, my partner in crime. We would out-prank each other. We spent so much time together. And he was a proud mama's boy. And because his dad was black and I'm German, he called himself German Chocolate.
I love it.
Yeah, and he just, many people told me, how did you raise a wonderful guy like that? He was just always kind. He never met a stranger. People still, 9 years later in July, still celebrate his birthday. Wow. They name him babies after him. He just left such a mark, and he was the best son you could ask for. Always a great student, always kind, always wanting to help. And then he wanted to fly. His passion was aviation, So he got his pilot's license. He had a little Cessna. And he worked for the Sheriff's Department in Riverside, California for a 911 dispatch center. And he helped save many lives of officers and people. And on July 12, 2012, he left home. I was in Atlanta. I had just arrived in Atlanta that night. So at 5:45 a.m. on July 12, 2012, he was on his way to work on his motorcycle, and as he was driving down the street, an illegal alien with 2 felonies, armed robbery, grand theft, 2 DUIs, which he always was let go with, just a slap on the wrist, turned an unregistered and uninsured truck right in front of Dominic, hit him so hard it killed him instantly, and threw him on the sidewalk. The DA knew him. The judge knew him. I was in such shock. I had no clue. I didn't know it was. I thought it was an accident until a police officer who knew Dominic, who worked with him, told me, "You better tell the DA to tell you the truth." And that opened up a whole new world of hurt because the DA talked me into not having a trial. We went to court to a hearing, and the judge told me later in front of everybody that if he would have known a little bit more about the case, he wouldn't have given the killer a deal of misdemeanor vehicular manslaughter without gross negligence, even though he had no license and all this other stuff.
Oh, my God.
And the sentence was 9 months and 5-year probation, and the guy served 35 days.
And you've been without Dominic for how long?
It's been since 2012. We're going on 9 years. Yeah. And it doesn't get better. It doesn't get easier. You just get used to it. But I'm standing in a room that was supposed to be his room right now. He wasn't there when I married the man who stuck with me. I'll never have grandchildren that I can spoil and buy all kind of electronic drums and no, Daddy. We had big plans. We had so many. He had so many dreams. He wanted to become a helicopter pilot for the Sheriff's Department, and they were ripped from him by a guy who was more cared for and better cared for. And matter of fact, now he's in California and he doesn't have to worry about anything. He's free. They have more rights. Illegals have more rights than Americans. They have no more consequences to their actions. And thanks to Biden, now they're getting our tax money.
Yes.
They're getting well taken care of. Hotels, $86 billion for hotels for illegals, while they step out over our veterans and families in need. But, Rose, the one thing I hope comes from this, as bad as it is, and all these children experiencing horror coming from their country here, 1 in 3 gets raped or dumped. And I share a story that I heard in Laredo. But we are breeding another generation of abusers because these kids experience horror, and it becomes normal.
Right. That's exactly right.
And I'm tired of all these politicians, and I don't care what side you're on, of all the talk and no action. It's time to act. And when CNN finally starts talking about this, people are waking up, as bad as it is.
And that's the well, let me get back to, first of all, a similar situation when we talk about how Dominic died and at whose hands. When you look at, these are just numbers from last week. I don't even know how much they've increased by now, but this was early on last week. 861 criminals have been caught so far crossing the Texas border, including 92 sex offenders. That comes from an official Border Patrol chief who reported on that just over a week ago. There was a Salvadorian man with a prior conviction for murder that was discovered. So far, just this year alone, more than 18,000 children have been encountered by agents. Yeah, and as you said, many. I've heard stories of them being thrown off trains, young girls, after they've been raped. Others that have just stay on and are continued to be raped. The stories are astounding, and yet this administration does absolutely nothing about it. For the longest time, wouldn't concede that it was a crisis. Now, President Harris is calling it a challenge, and it's a little more than a challenge. This is something that is horrific, and you better do something soon. But they're not going to, because essentially, Joe Biden invited everybody here. He told him, "Come on in."
He He still is, because if you leave your front door open after you've been robbed about 20 times, and now the burglar can tell his buddies, oh, just come on in. They keep putting money on the table. Just come on in. The word gets out. And Biden and Harris, and the funny part is when you visit the White House, you have 2 checkpoints. I have to show my ID twice and get searched twice.
That's right. That's
but
right.
It's not good enough for us. Just come on in. We pay you. The word is out. They're being lied to. And matter of fact, there is a movie out. Dominic is part of it. It's called AmericasForgottenMovie.com.
I just heard the ad for that. Yes.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
And Dominic's in that. Okay. America's Forgotten. You know what, honey? I'm going to take care. I'm going to have that girl on. If you later on give me her number, okay?
Yes, I sure will.
We'll get her on.
She was a staunch liberal when we started talking, and I think I changed her mind a little bit.
Oh my gosh, that was you. God bless you, Sabina. Oh, girl, I love you. You are something else. Sabina, before we go on to what you witnessed at the border this past week. One of the things my producer was telling me when he was talking to you during the break is that the woman that had done that film, America's Forgotten, you told her if she refers to them as undocumented immigrants that you weren't going to do the film with her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And she was persistent. She called me every week and tried to convince me, and then we talked in depth. And she's a sweetheart. She wanted to know everything I could tell her, and by the time we were done talking, she realized that this movie is about more than just a little girl from India that came over with her mother and died at the border, because that's what started her journey to make this documentary.
Oh, really?
And editor even left and said he can't stay because he wanted to use undocumented immigrant. And I told her, that's an insult to all immigrants who stood in line and still standing in line.
Well, and I'm the granddaughter of one. I'm second generation here, and you are first generation. Yeah.
I'm from Germany. It took me 6 years, and so no, it's illegal alien. It's a legal term. It's not a racist term, because last I checked, illegal is not a race. So people can just stop with that, because all they do is trying to stop you from talking, because now you feel you have to defend yourself.
Right.
You know if you're racist or not. So this woman, it changed her the more we got to talk, and I couldn't travel to film with her because of COVID high season, and so we did it remotely, and it was an experience out of this world. The movie will grab you because it shares 5 lives differently impacted, and it will have you crying and waking up and seeing the truth that's happening that most media, the mainstream media, doesn't want to share. Until now, they're starting to. And, my sister is in Germany. She wants to come visit. She can't right now. I told her to fly to Mexico City.
There you go.
Get with one of those caravans, and then she gets a plane ticket, food, maybe a hotel room. She's going to be covered.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's not even a joke.
That is the truth right now. I know she's not going to go for it, but that's pretty much how you can get in here, and not have to worry about COVID, because that's only for us. Because the next outbreak is blamed on the now spring breakers in Miami and young people trying to enjoy life. That's going to be blamed on them, not the illegals who get released constantly. And the numbers you gave, double those numbers, because just about as many got away.
Yes, exactly. We've absorbed them into the country, and we don't know where they are. Exactly. No court date has been given to them.
No.
So they're not going to come back for anything. No, we don't know if they have COVID. We don't know if they have scabies or flu or any other communicable diseases. Yeah.
Yeah, but we get probed and prodded when we go leave the country and have to have a passport and have to, everything is so hypocritical, and that's what's annoying to me. Don't be so hypocritical telling us what to do constantly when you don't do it to those who are not even supposed to be here.
And this administration is talking about a freaking COVID passport. Oh. Where are the passports for these people? I'm getting pissed again, okay? It just keeps happening. What did you see down there? Because I want to know. I want to know what you saw firsthand.
I was invited by Women Fighting for America to speak at an event, and it was right in Laredo, right next to the Rio Grande. And as we were putting up this stuff, I walked down to the riverbank, and I'm noticing across the river in Mexico, you had the scouts for the cartels. They're watching us.
Oh, my God.
They're watching us and watching. There was one Border Patrol agent sitting in a car. Now I asked locals. I started asking a lot of questions. Biden removed 300 Border Patrol agents from that area, from 500 down to 200. The equipment, the lights, and the cameras don't work. So this one agent sitting there,
Oh, my God.
overlooking a huge stretch that's not, the water is kind of shallow, but it has an undercurrent. So that night, a lady saw 3 packs of 10 illegals coming through, and they started shining lights on them. So they went back and started touting them, saying, just don't worry about it. We'll be back. We're going to come over anyway. Then I hear about National Guard sitting up the river. They cannot do anything. Biden has tied their hands. They can only call that one Border Patrol agent, hey, listen, there are about 30 coming your way. While I'm standing there at 3:30 in the afternoon, one guy just waded through the river to our side, and a police officer, she told me, because I thank him. I pray for these Border Patrol agents and police officers. She told me she caught the same guy 60 times.
Oh, my God.
And I asked her, I said, how do you keep your composure? How do you keep your morale up? But she said, very little of morale going on right now. They're disappointed, they're hurting, but they swore to protect us. So we need to cover them in prayers.
We do.
They are working unimaginable sceneries, scenes, and incidents, and still have to go back every day. And then don't know what they bring home to their families.
Oh, my God.
We're being sold out for cheap labor, for votes, because
For votes,
every
absolutely.
illegal alien would vote Republican,
Oh, yeah.
we would have a 100-foot high wall all around America.
That is the truth. That is the truth. Oh, dear
we
God,
would.
help us. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Sabina. Listen, you know what? Now more than ever, I know you and I, we did a lot of things with you and Angel Moms over the last 4 years. Now we need to do that more than ever, actually.
Yes,
So,
we need to really wake up everybody, because every city, every little town is a border town. Even here in Arkansas, we have one town, it's called the Queen. It is illegal alien central. So some of these illegals going to go right there, because that's their welcoming city. And then it's like a cancer growing from there. And I don't care if you're a good illegal or a bad one. You're an illegal. You have no right here. You don't have a right to my tax dollars. Or back then, my son's tax dollars paid for his illegal alien killer to be sitting in a detention center getting fat because they were taken care of better than anybody else outside that detention center.
unbelievable.